Wow, what a week.
Can the Prime Minister tell us, did the official security vetting he received mention Mandelson's ongoing relationship with the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein?
So clear. Prime Minister.
Yes, it did.
The shock was deafening. So Keir Starmer appointed the absolute worst possible person for the job of ambassador, and turns out, well, it wasn't all his fault at all.
I knew of his association with Epstein, but had I known then what I know now, I'd have never appointed him. Because what emerged last week were emails, Bloomberg emails, which showed that the nature and extent of the relationship that Peter Mandelson had with Epstein was far different to what I had understood to be the position when I appointed him.
Oh, please. Only what he knew now, he must have known then, because we all knew that Mandelson was friends with a convicted, controversial billionaire paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Keir also knew that the head of MI5 had said that Mandelson was a security threat and risk, and that he should be nowhere near the role of ambassador to the US. Keir apparently had warnings from MI5, the police, MI6, and ignored them. And what about Mandelson's career history? What more did he need? No wonder Keir tried to mark his own homework and get his own people to investigate the security detail. His own party were having none of it.
Labour MPs now have to decide if they want to be accessories to his cover-up.
Well, now he's trying to weasel out of it. It's not my fault, Gov. He lied to me.
The answers he gave were lies. He portrayed Epstein as someone he barely knew. And when that became clear, and it was not true, I sacked him. Such deceit is incompatible with public service.
Honestly, you're supposed to be a forensic lawyer.
I am sorry. Sorry for what was done to you. Sorry that so many people with power failed you. Sorry for having believed Mandelson's lies and appointed him.
Yes, I bet you are. But that's exactly what you did. You turned a blind eye. He babbled on about tolerance, social conscience, Tory austerity, and selling a lie that people who look different can't live together.
Selling the lie, defied every day by millions of people in this country, that people who look different cannot really live together. I reject that completely.
Stick to the point, man. You hired someone completely unsuitable despite all the warning signs. Mind you, Mandelson isn't the only bad hire. Louise Haigh resigned when a previous fraud conviction came to light. Tulik Sadiq resigned as anti-corruption minister on charges of corruption. Mike Ainsbury, who punched a constituent to the floor. Rashanara Ali, homelessness minister, who made her tenants homeless. Angela Rayner, housing minister, who underpaid her stamp duty. And now, Peter Mandelson. Look, I may have missed someone, because in just 18 months, 12 front-bench ministers have been sacked. And what happened to this?
You have given us a clear mandate, and we will use it to deliver change, to restore service and respect to politics, end the era of noisy performance, tread more lightly on your lives, and unite our country.
Tread more lightly on your lives. Then they came out with digital ID, not in their manifesto. Mind you, neither was scrapping winter fuel, farmers' inheritance tax, an NI hike which they promised not to raise, freezing income tax thresholds, which is an indirect tax rise, removal of business rates release, the Chagos deal. The list is endless. And how many U-turns? Bad decisions reversed because they would have bankrupted the country. And now, the Peter Mandelson scandal. The police force launched an investigation into the ex-Labour minister on Tuesday after suggestions that he passed on market-sensitive government information to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. In a statement, the Metropolitan Police said he has not been arrested and inquiries are ongoing. Seriously, Keir Starmer is on borrowed time. And Tory leader Kemi Badenoch and Reform UK leader Nigel Farage must be ecstatic. Here they are dancing. The problem is, if he goes, what follows, believe it or not, is probably worse. Could it be him? David Lammy? Or could it be this guy?
The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
Ed Miliband. Or what about her?
You were there for me, and I don't believe I could have done that without you.
Angela Rayner. In my view, Labour's only real hope was Andy Burnham, and Keir made sure that that was never going to happen, putting his own career ahead of the party and indeed the country. You see, Keir, it's not as easy as you thought. You banged on about change and sleazed from the Tories when you were in opposition, but you and your party are mired in it. I've got to hand it to you, Keir. In just 18 months, you've managed to achieve what the Tories did in 14 years. Keir Starmer is a disaster from start to finish. For the sake of the country, for goodness sake, man, step aside.
Your passwords are your passwords, only for your eyes. But how safe is your phone or laptop or tablet? Well, watch this. I press one button and my phone is now shielded from hackers and prying eyes. ExpressVPN is your protector. Yes, you can protect all your passwords fast across multiple devices with ExpressVPN. Premium, fast and highly secure. Get big peace of mind for a low cost. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code to get up to 75% off, plus 4 extra months free, all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. Protect your online life today.
Well, I'm joined now by Labour activist Aisha Ali-Khan. Aisha, long time no speak. So,
I know, Nana. Hi.
Well, we've missed you, Aisha. So listen, this is pretty bad for Sir Keir Starmer. He has shown himself to have incredibly bad judgment. Do you agree that it's time for him to go?
I do agree that there was a lot of bad judgment. But no, I think that there's still a little bit of hope left for Sir Keir. So I think we should just see what happens, what sort of veils itself in the next few weeks. But I think this is a very critical time, not just for Keir Starmer, but for the government in general, because nobody wants a leadership battle right now. And there isn't really anybody who they might say things, but there's nobody really ready to actually take over from Sir Keir right now.
Well, that's a bit of a problem, but it's undeniable that he has made some incredibly bad judgments. I mean, the Lord Mandelson scenario, he actually gave this man a job to be an ambassador to the US, and this is about diplomacy, and it's about negotiating and being... you need to be someone who can be good with PR and be a great representative for this country. And there was a lot of obvious evidence that came out that this was a very bad appointment. Do you think he made a mistake appointing him?
I think there was definitely a lack of judgment there. I think there was enough evidence there at the time of his appointment to suggest that Mandelson was not to be trusted. There was a lot of shadiness in his past. And I mean, any association with somebody who was a convicted paedophile at that point, there should have been a complete no-go area for that person. And the fact that he was brought back into government initially by Gordon Brown, who himself has come out today and said, we made a massive mistake, and this is a person, Mandelson was a person who only cared about self-interest. At every single point in his career, all he has done is look after himself, look after his own interests, and actually at the expense, as we have now found out the last couple of weeks with all the latest batch of the Epstein files coming out, just that extent, to what extent he actually put himself ahead and his friendships with people like Epstein first, rather than the interest of the country, the UK and the government. So, and also, Nana, I do feel we there could well be even more damaging revelations to come out yet, because we still haven't gone through the latest batch of the Epstein files, but there are more files to come out in due course. So there is a sense of how much more damage could be caused, and which is why I agree with what Gordon Brown said today. Sir Keir needs to take a really strong stance now. He needs to get a strong grip, and the good news is for us, at least, Nana, not for yourself, but for us, there's still basically support for Sir Keir Starmer from the backbenches. And as we know, as we have seen from the previous governments, Liz Truss and Boris Johnson and so on, if your backbenchers turn on you, then there's no hope. Right now, we're not seeing that with Sir Keir right now.
Well, they weren't prepared to go along with him for an investigation that wasn't a sort of all-party investigation where it was a mix of people rather than his own people. They didn't want to go along with that, and all credit to them for that. But do you buy Sir Keir Starmer's "I'm sorry"? Because he wasn't really sorry. He was more sorry for what he said being lied to and believing the lies.
Well, Nana, because obviously I have worked in politics and I know what it's like, and you can only go with the information you have at your disposal to make decisions. And I've spoken to a few people about this, and we were discussing the fact that Labour had been out of power for 14 years. And when we were elected, obviously those relationships that people would have had, those kind of friendships and so on, the connections, they were out of date. So Peter Mandelson was at that point still well connected, still had lots of friends in the US, and obviously lots of contacts as well. And it was something that Sir Keir Starmer saw as a positive. Obviously, hindsight is a great thing. And I think given that there wasn't any kind of association with Epstein, there should have been no contact whatsoever. I'm so sorry. I've got my cat who wants to take part in the.
Oh, the cat is a cute cat.
So you listeners are not imagining things. There is a cat, and it's making a lot of noise. So I just want to apologise.
Can't hear the cat. Oh,
okay, I can.
Oh, bless it, bless
its heart.
So look, if you were in. So what about the damage limitation there? Because do you genuinely think Keir Starmer can come back from this? Because let's be honest, nobody has any faith in his judgment, including his own party. And it's not great that they've cancelled a load of elections as well in May. And do you think that perhaps it might be better for the country for him to step aside? Because he doesn't seem to be able to get anything right.
Well, there's definitely things that could have been done better. The U-turns have definitely not helped the credibility and trust in public trust, in Keir Starmer. And I think had this just been only about the files, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But because there was a series of unfortunate mistakes and misjudgment and U-turns and so on, that's adding up to this level of pressure that obviously we're talking about right now. But I do feel that Sir Keir Starmer needs to take a really strong stance. But in many ways, Nana, I feel his hands are tied now because there is a criminal investigation underway, and a lot of things can't be said, a lot of things can't be discussed, and so on. And a lot of the evidence that could throw up even more evidence, things that aren't in the Epstein files and things that previously nobody would have had access to. So that could in itself be even more damaging down the line, and we won't find out until obviously if there's a arrest, if Mandelson is arrested and there's a court case and so on. So that could well be kicked into the long grass a couple of years down the line. But right now, Sir Keir Starmer needs to listen to what Gordon Brown said today, take proper advice, legal advice as well, and make strong decisions, and just to draw a really thick line under this, and to make sure there's no future whatsoever with Mandelson at all.
Yeah. I'm not sure whether he'll be able to draw a line under this. This is not. I think his credibility is gone, Aisha. But really good to talk to you. Thank you very much. That's Aisha Ali-Khan.
As always.
She's a Labour activist. Really good to talk to her. Right. Regarding Lord Mandelson, he has previously denied any wrongdoing in relation to Jeffrey Epstein. He stated, "I was never culpable or complicit in his crimes. Like everyone else, I learnt the actual truth about him after his death." He added that he had relied on assurances of his innocence that turned out later to be horrendously false. There have been no suggestions as well by police that Lord Mandelson is suspected of any criminal offence, and searches of properties linked to him do not imply guilt or wrongdoing. And a Downing Street spokesperson told GBNews Peter Mandelson's actions are unforgivable. He lied to the Prime Minister, hid information that has since come to light, and presented Jeffrey Epstein as someone he barely knew.